Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Coach Paul Tortorella Show. This is Jack Benedict, and we're going to talk IUP Crimson Hawks football. After a game on the road, it was a toughie, 23-17, but the Crimson Hawks prevail, remain undefeated. And, Coach, let's talk about, well, we have a lot to talk about, as a matter of fact. You know, it's not often when you look at so many things that went wrong, adversity on a particular day, and you come away with a win. But that's a credit to your team. You hung on, the defense did what it had to do, and you came away with a win.
Well, yeah, that's the bottom line. On the road, the things that we did during the game usually lead to getting beat on the road, getting upset. The turnover started it, then the bad penalties on defense on a drive, missing a field goal, botching an extra point. I mean, there's a lot of different things that turned that game into a 23-17 game. It very easily could have been a 31-6 or 31-10 game if we'd have just played the right way. I gave Clarion credit. They played hard. They played really well on defense. But a lot of the things that were factors in the game were just us not playing the right way, is basically. But the positive, or the glass half full, was that's the exact recipe for losing on the road. And we were able to hang in there and defensively not give up that score to lose the game.
Well, it shows a lot of character and resiliency on your team, really.
Yeah, I mean, defensively, we were put in a couple bad situations. Obviously, the first series after the fumble, they score a touchdown, we miss a tackle, et cetera, et cetera. But we have a lot of stops, sudden changes, where Clarion's starting a series in really good field position on our side of the 50 a couple times. And, we're getting stops when we're in a situation where if you give up a couple first downs, they're going to be in the red zone. So, by and large, when you look at it, we gave up 3 points in the second half, shut them out in the fourth quarter. That's the positive side of it. It's a team game. We did score 23 in the first half. People don't realize we didn't have a great rhythm in the first half, and we did turn it over 3 times in the first half, but we still scored 23 points. And we really should have had 27. The last drive where we kicked the field goal on third down, we ran the wrong route, and Lenny threw it right where we were supposed to be, and we'd had first and goal on the 5. So we didn't, and we kicked the field goal to make it 23-7. So, offensively, we still did score 23 in the first half, even with 3 turnovers.
Even with the turnovers and all, and the injuries. Now that played a big part. And you said within a 4 or 5 minute period, you had how many guys go down?
Well, in the first half, we had our starting right guard go down, 3 of our top 4 wideouts go down. So we were actually in a situation in the second half, we were playing without 7 potential starters on offense, 3 offensive linemen and 4 receivers. So, that's tough to do even when you're prepared for that, going into a game and it. But having to do it in the middle of the game, right, after halftime, it's a little tougher because you got guys playing that really hadn't had all the reps. Whereas if you knew these injuries were going to happen, you could have repped the guys that ended up playing. But we ended up playing 2 offensive linemen that worked during the week, but they weren't working with the ones. And then we ended up playing with 2 wideouts that didn't work with the ones at all during the week because of the injuries. And it all happened right there in the second quarter. It was just one after another. And I look back and I see guys in a boot. I see a guy on crutches. I see a guy with his shoulder in a sling. I mean, it was pretty devastating that way.
MVPs of the game would be the trainers.
Trainers, yeah, sure.
What did you tell the team at halftime? What was the
Well, I was a little upset with the last drive. I thought, they scored first. They have the momentum at 7-0. That's all they needed. They're coming in playing for a total upset. It's the Super Bowl for them, and we feed the fire by letting them, giving them the ball in the 23 on the second play of the game. They go up 7-0. I thought we had a great response. We come back, we score 23 straight on them. We're up 23-7. They get the ball with a minute and a half to go in the second quarter. We allow a deep pass. Then we get 2 really undisciplined penalties on the drive in the red zone. We were figuring we'll give them a field goal, go in up 23-10. Momentum hasn't changed that much. But we get the 2 penalties that were totally undisciplined penalties. and they end up scoring a touchdown. So now the momentum shifts. It's 23-14. And I'll be honest with you, with the injuries, with them scoring at the end of the half, getting the momentum, I was really concerned at halftime. And I had a reason to be, I guess.
Yeah, maybe so, yeah. Was there anything that surprised you about Clarion, or did they pretty much do what you felt they would, and how they would handle it going after Lenny?
I thought that they had a great plan, but it's a lot of the things they have done all year. They took away our screen game by pressing up their corners outside so we didn't have the bubbles and the now screens as much. They were bringing a lot of pressure when we were throwing, and you know, the first half we ran the ball pretty good, made some plays in the pass game, but in the second half they just you know, stopped the run, which is our bread and butter. Got a lot of pressure on Lenny. They took away the screen game, and you know, they caused him to, you know, try to get out of the pocket, run around, throw the ball on the run. So they really executed their plan real well in the second half. They had the same plan in the first half, and we had some success. In the second half, you know, we had some subs in there, you know, next man up type thing, and you know, I give them credit. They really played very hard, especially in the second half on defense.
You know, there was a point later on where on their muffed punt return, and John McDonald Horner, I guess, recovered, and looked like, boy, there was that's what you need to pick me up.
Correct.
And then the field goal came right after that hit the upright.
Well, we thought, you know, normally after the muff punt, we're going to take us in and put the game away for a touchdown. That was probably the most disappointing thing in the whole second half. You know, if you get stopped and you're punting, our punter did a great job, our punt coverage did a great job, you put it on your defense, and we were fine with that. But when you have a chance to put the game away, 1st and 10 on the 25 after the muff punt, we feel we'll go and score a touchdown, go up 12, probably would have went for 2. We would have had the game in hand. 3rd and 4, we run a play that looks like it's going to be there. One of our linemen misses a block. It's going to definitely be a first down. We're about 2 yards short, so we go for the field goal. We hit the upright, so now it's still a one-score game. So that, you know, even if we get the field goal there, we're up 9, we're up 2 scores. I'd have felt a lot more comfortable.
Yeah. Well, all in all, I mean, the defense did what it had to do. Again, you're still unscored upon in the fourth quarter. Who graded out for you big time on the defensive side? Because we pretty much gave as the players of the game the entire defense, represented by Justin Weldon.
Yeah, I thought Weldon played well. I'll tell you, the guy that made 2 great plays late in the game was Jordan Diven. They had a play down in the red zone there where they ran a pick play, and they had a guy wide open, and he tipped the pass down on the 10-yard line.
Then he had the sack.
And then he had the sack late, but then he also played, it happened in the second half. They had a screen set up to the running back that was there. They got us in a bad defense. They had the perfect call. They had a screen to the weak side. We were going to be in a lot of trouble, and Diven tipped the ball, and it never got to the running back. Our edge people got pressure on the quarterback. I thought J.R. Stevens played real well on the corner. They went after him 2 or 3 times, and he was all over it. He had an interception. It was a tough interception, but he should have had it. He played very well. I thought our safeties played really well. So I think overall, when you sit and look at our defense, you know, you really got to look at things realistically. The first touchdown, we give them the ball on our own 23-yard line. Of course, we don't want to just let them score a touchdown, but if you take that out of it, they score 10 points. And the touchdown, the other touchdown they scored, our 2 penalties led to it. So it very easily could have been a 6 or a 9-point game given up on defense. Really, it could have been. You
had Nico Ruiz run out of punt formation. Is that his call, or was it predetermined?
Well, that's his call. When we do that rugby, which is like the new innovative thing, it's the greatest thing going on it's like a great invention that we started using 2 years ago. And you have the option, you're on the run there. If there's nobody there, just take it. It gets you away from the rush if they're bringing a lot of pressure when you're punting from the pocket. It's just a great tool that we have. And, you know, 4th and 18, we don't highly advise to do it, but there was nobody there. And he ran for 25 yards before there was anybody even in the screen. The one thing we did tell him, once he got the first down, he had about 8 or 10 extra yards, just run out of bounds, because he took a pretty good hit there. But it got us field position. We didn't score on that drive, but we were punting backed up. We ended up getting stopped. Then we punted, and they got the ball on like their own 15-yard line versus maybe getting it on the 50. So it was a big play.
Toward when you're undefeated and you're nationally ranked, it doesn't get any easier. Here's a Gannon team that's only won 3 games, but they could score like crazy. They have the top running back, maybe in the nation, probably. Tell us about this game coming up at noon on Saturday. It's going to be a challenge again. I'm sure maybe you learn a lesson somewhere along the way.
Well, you know, Jack, after the game, I made the statement, hopefully we learn from this game so that when we do talk about not playing the right way, these are the things that can happen. And I said, well, if we'd have played great today and won easily, I'd be saying the same things about this game this week, that we've got, you know, we got to worry about not playing the right way and getting knocked off. I think now that, you know, we survived not playing the right way on the road, and now that we're at home, I feel like that shouldn't be a factor at all. We should come out and play a very good game. They're really good. They're running the ball with that running back. They're scoring a lot of points. Most of their games are high-scoring, close games. They're 3-5. They very easily could be 5-3 or even 6-2. They have 3 really close losses at the end of the game. They had Slippery Rock beaten. They had one other game where they were winning late. So at the very least, they probably could be flipped instead of 3-5, 5-3, because they're scoring so many points. But most of their games are high-scoring, close games. So we've got to get our rhythm back on offense, get a couple guys back, hopefully from injury, continue to play well on defense, and especially this week. Now, most of the time defensively, the teams we play, we're a little more concerned about them throwing the ball. This team, we better stop the run. Mm-hmm. You know, you always say we got to stop the run. Well, this week it's 100%, if not more. You better stop the run, because they run for 250, 280 yards a game. Mm-hmm. And that running back I think he's averaging 230 yards a game rushing somewhere. So it's a major factor. I think, you know, on paper, if you go into the game and you stop Jones, the running back, you should play pretty good defense against them. But that's, you know, easier said than done. You're going to have to do it.
You know, one other thing I wanted to mention, since it's the last regular season home game, it's Senior Day.
Correct.
And of course, this is your first year as a head coach, but you've been here forever, so you have gone through all these guys. This is a pretty cool group, isn't it? I mean, good leadership group.
Great leadership. Won a lot. Have been very successful. Have won a lot of games. I think this group has a high character. Some guys have been here 5 years. Some guys have been here 4 years. There's a couple transfers in there now that are seniors.
Right.
But they've all really complemented each other very well. Great chemistry. And, you know, we'll play the game for them Saturday because it's the last regular season home game for them. But hopefully it won't be their last home game at Miller Stadium.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good thought. All right, noon kickoff for IUP and Gannon on Saturday, and we'll give it a go and let's go out and have some fun. And the bottom line is get some guys healed too.
Yeah, and then, you know, it's good to be back home. Yeah. You know, we've had great crowds, great following. You know, we went on the road 2 in a row. We're going to go on the road 2 in a row after this game. So I think our players are really excited. We've got a 15-game home winning streak. They're really excited about that. They're really excited about the support we've been getting at home and even on the road.
Yeah.
We've had 2 good crowds both at Slippery Rock and at Clarion, so they're really even more excited now with the following that we have playing at home.
Okay, good luck, Tort.
Thanks.
Coach Paul Tortorella, noon kickoff, IUP Gannon coming up. We hope to see you there. This is Jack Benedict. Have a nice evening.